Hello everybody, my name is Adam from S-A-M-Gamers, and today we will be doing another Spiral Knights commentary. Now, why do I say another? I haven't posted any Spiral Knights stuff before. Well, I have a little story about that. You see, first time I did a Spiral Knights thing, I went through this entire dungeon, and it took me like an hour 30 pretty much, and I figured out that the sound was not playing, which kinda sucked. So, instead of posting a really crappy gameplay without like any real commentary because you can't really hear any of it, I'm going to start again. So, here I go into a dungeon. This is of the previous tier, so it's pretty easily soloable by me. Typically you want to go in with a group, but you know, I'm just going in alone because I can. So, yeah. Spiral Knights is a game made by Sega. It's free to play. It's for the PC, obviously, and it's really good for a free to play game, and I mean really good. It's just absolutely ridiculously good for a free to play game. It isn't a full-fledged MMO per se, but it will definitely tie you over to, say, the next patch on your main MMO. So essentially what it is if you've ever played like Legend of Zelda The Four Swords or something, that's exactly what this thing is. It's a top-down hack and slash set in space. You go through dungeons, I believe they're called the Clockworks, and you pretty much just solve some puzzles, slash up some enemies, you know, all that good stuff. You can also, you know, buy stuff on the auction house, which was newly implemented. I absolutely love that. You know, you can sell stuff. The game does have RMT, so, you know, if you really want to start playing hardcore, RMT is kind of required. It's not too bad, though. They don't, like, push you to do anything. You can pretty much just enjoy your Spiral Knights experience without any kind of RMT. So that's really good news. Your main weapons in the game are sword, guns, and bombs. So I have my sword right here. I'm hacking and slashing up these crystals, which I will tell you about in a second. I'm shooting up the crystals with my gun right here. Guns are pretty much just like your range thing. And bombs, which are not pictured because I don't have any, are these charge-only area of effect kind of things. So they're really good for like taking out a whole bunch of groups or like inflicting like some kind of status effect on them. So that's essentially what role bombs play. You can get more than like the 2 weapon slots that I have via RMT, but again, it's not required. You know, you can do perfectly fine without using the RMT in this game, as I will probably stress again and again, because a lot of people really hate RMT, and I absolutely love this game, so whatever. So here we go. I'm going through the through this little dungeon. All the dungeons have like a theme, so as you can see, this one's kind of like toxic, poisonous kind of theme, hence the mist and, you know, the green. That is a party switch. It's just to make sure that everybody in your party is there before moving on. Very good addition. I really wish that they had this in some other games. World of Warcraft. So yeah. As you can see, I'm pretty much just tearing these guys apart because, again, I am very overgeared for this. So your armor consists pretty much of a helmet, a chest piece, and a shield, aside from your, you know, weapons and everything, which might protect you in some kind of way. I really haven't gone into the game that much to know. But your main sources of protection are definitely your helmet and your chest piece. And as you can see here, I have some pretty cool stuff, in my opinion. And you also have a costume area, which it's pretty much you get the model of the thing in your costume, but you get the stats of the thing in your main slot. So without this, the Cobalt Helm is really ugly, so I put this on, which is your starter gear, which I really like, so it's a little bit better looking, so I can kind of stand the look of my character a bit more. So yeah. Ooh. This is an arena. You can open this thing for energy, which I will talk about as I'm doing this arena. You have 2 forms of currency in this game. It's called crowns and energy. Now, crowns are pretty much like your typical, you know, gold, cash, all that good stuff. So that's kind of, you know, your free-to-play kind of currency, I guess. And then you have another kind of currency, which is energy. Now, energy is pretty much your, it's not really a currency per se, but it can be used as one. It's pretty much your energy, I guess. It's what you use to do stuff, like go down elevators, open doors. Everything in the game uses a little bit of energy. You know, crafting. Thank God the auction house doesn't. So yeah, energy is comes in two forms: mist energy and crystal energy. Now your mist energy is pretty much like your bare minimum of energy. You get 100 a day for free-to-play people. It regenerates like 1 every 11 minutes, I want to say. So it's kind of like sort of like a Farmville approach, I'd say. You actually get energy in real time. So yeah. But if you do want to keep doing stuff without waiting for the energy regeneration, you can use RMT to buy crystal energy, which is also really cool because you can use it just like mist energy, but you can trade it. You can use it as currency. You can't use it as currency in the auction house. You can trade it for crowns though. So yeah, and crafting like some of the higher up stuff, you know, it takes like 200 energy, 300, 400 energy. So as you can tell, it's kind of required to use RMT at that point, but again, to get to that point in such a short amount of time, you know, before you're absolutely bored with this game, it would require RMT anyway because, you know, again, you're not really expected to play this thing 24/7. It's good for like, you know, maybe like a 1-hour game session. So these arenas, they cost 3 energy to open, and at the end you'll get like a little tier token. They call them sparks, and you can use this just to buy some gear and, you know, get some cool stuff with your little tokens, get some fat loots. And yeah, so the arenas are pretty cool. They're perfectly optional. They do usually require a group if you're doing them, like a full group if you're doing them in the current tier. Pretty much any dungeon can be soloed, but the arenas, if you make one false move, you're pretty much dead, unless you're in a very soloable instance like me. So yeah, a good way to kill the enemies, as you've been seeing like a lot, is just kite them around and use a semi-automatic gun, which I will go into a bit later again, to just run around and shoot them up a bit. You can also use your sword if you're feeling like speeding things up, but again, this leaves you vulnerable to their melee attacks. So speaking of melee attacks, there are a whole bunch of different types of enemies in this game. You have your typical meleeer, where they just charge up their attack and try and hit you like this one. They also have these merging enemies, like those orange slimes that you saw. They will actually try and get to each other and then merge into a more powerful enemy. And the most powerful slime enemy I've seen so far can do a giant AoE 360 awesome fan of knives thorn thing, which really hurts. And it can also make giant roots come out of the ground. So take that as you will. Also, there are caster or healer enemies. They come in the form of like little goblin mages and everything. They can heal enemies. They're really, really annoying. As usual, kill the one in the dress first. That's always a good rule for pretty much any game. It applies to this one as well. So yeah, next we have these little bomb-laying enemies, which are really, really annoying. I absolutely hate them. However, you can pretty easily avoid their damage as long as you stay out of the mines or anything else that they lay down. So yeah, you also have these really weird firefly melee healing enemies, which heal anybody they're close to. Again, killed one in the dress. So yeah, you can also charge up your sword to unleash a little 360 no-scope action like that. Very awesome for AoE. The game also has these little vials that you can pick up in dungeons. You can throw them to inflict like status effects on people. Again, you're not really required to do well, but if you do pick them up, you know, it's like a win-win situation. As you can see, I just inflicted a little bit of fire damage on them at that point in time. They do go away when you exit the dungeon, so you can't really ninja them from anybody else because, you know, they're probably just going to get used anyway. You can also get like little health capsules, status capsules, you know, all your typical, you know, like stuff that you might find in like a potion in other games. It all drops in here, so no need to make those. So yeah, win-win. We also have little material things that drop. They can be found in the square bordery things instead of circle bordery things, like that one right there. That one was a gel drop. And I believe that the looting for those is completely random. I have not found like a suitable like loot system in the game yet. So I'm thinking it's totally random because, you know, you can go like a dungeon getting every single drop, or you can go a dungeon like just not getting any drops. So just just some food for thought there. If anybody does know the loot system, if there is any, please tell me because I actually kind of want to know. You also have a whole bunch of ways of approaching enemies in arenas. You can charge up your sword and attack them. You can kite them with your gun. Swords are usually the quickest way to kill things, but guns are the safest way. You have your semi-automatic guns, which you're seeing right here. It's 3 shots, and then you gotta take a second to reload. Pretty typical gun format there. Or you have your fully automatic guns, where you stand still and just spray and spray and spray and spray, and you can reload halfway through it, change directions, because you can't like move at all when you're doing that. And yeah, that's another type of gun in this game. So that's pretty cool. Good variety in the weapons. You can also get guns that, inflict status effects on their charge shots and everything, so that's really cool. Also, in this game, you actually start at max level, so there's like no EXP, no leveling, so that's really good, but, it can kind of reduce the depth of the game. So what they did to fix that is they have gear that is levels. So for different types of gear, like once you get it, it'll be like level 1 gear, but if you use it and you collect those little orange globules that monsters drop, they're called heat, I believe. So yeah, if you collect enough heat, then that's pretty much your EXP right there, and your gear will go up a couple of levels if you collect enough, so that's pretty useful. The gear's damage increases, it gets like some different special like little values, like decreased charge time or something. And yeah, you want to level up your gear as much as possible, which you can only do by running dungeons, so that's like one of the only things you can do in this game, so it works out. As for the rest of the gear that you can use, I have found a couple of interesting pieces of gear, to say the least. There are some pretty weird types of gear in this game. You can find like weird gear that like sets fire to everything within its vicinity. You can find stuff that, like stuns everybody. You can find like really enormously fast like dagger swords, or you can find like giant like cumbering maces that swing really slowly. So there's some good variety. Their stats are pretty much reflected in little bars that show their damage like visually instead of numbers, which I kind of like. Helps you visually. And then if your gear isn't fully leveled, you'll see like a little dim bar that adds on to that, which